how you doing? This is Coach D. Darrell Spears here once again. Happy to be here. Happy to chop it up with you once again. Just wanted to kind of talk to you about the state of the channel. And I would like to talk about, is true black love a thing of the past? And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I hear so much pessimistic, negative behavior online when it comes to black relationships. And online we hear so much of black people talking about the negatives of relationships and why those relationships have not worked. And so my question is black love, non-existent? Because when you're listening to social media, when you're listening to YouTube in particular, one would think if they are not experiencing it, they would think black love is something of the past. So black love doesn't exist. And there's so many people that have never experienced black love. They don't know what black love is if they had it in their face. And, I just want to discuss that. I know I've been doing the clips, 5-8 minute clips and things of that sort. So I plan to spend some time to kind of tackle that a little bit. And it is so difficult for me at times to see things that are occurring in real life, real time, in my personal life, family life, particularly, especially professional, in which I'm trying to figure out, why are people thinking this? And I reflected on several things. And one thing is this. Like they talked about, the squeakiest wheel always gets the all. And people who are unsuccessful at relationships are the ones who will and will always complain the most, and they will be the loudest. And the people who are successful and they're happy in their relationships, they don't want you to know. They prefer to mind their own business, or they're not on social media to complain. And I have said this for years. And when it first dawned to me about this is when I used to get on panels and argue about different relationships, who's to blame. Black women were to blame, black men were to blame. And I would always hear, when I asked people about their personal life, dating, there are always people who are taken advantage of, exploited, people who suffer some type of traumatic event, people who had divorces, baby mama drama, baby daddy drama. Someone fucked over them at some point. And some have never healed from that. And I understand, because I deal with trauma all the time. I deal with people who are in precarious situations. I deal with people who are stressed out due to relationships all the time. I have the receipts to show, even though I can't show them. And this is going to be a rare moment on this content, because I want to try to get away from being in therapist mode. And for those that want to see me in therapist mode, you can watch D. Darrell Life Solutions. But I see people who have so much to say about cracking the code of what makes a good woman, good man, coming from the opposite sex. But you know so much about women that you're still an incel. A woman knowing so much about men, but you're still so unhappy and you're dateless. I have never seen so many adults who are alone. In my life, most adults I know have somebody. Regardless of how functional a relationship is, they have somebody. They have somebody that they can love, hold on to, someone that they can be with, whether they're married, engaged, but they got somebody. They don't go years without finding somebody. I have never seen so many supposedly childless men, dateless men and women in my life. In my life, I have never heard so many people having a problem going on a date as adults. And this is not just representative of just the fact that, well, that's just in your circle. No. I'm looking at all facets of my life as far as family, workplace, especially professional, because in my line of work, I meet people of all races, creed, color, social, economical backgrounds. I meet people from all over the country, and I see all different types of scenarios. And one of the most difficult things for me is that the things that I have seen that work therapeutically, people in these spaces don't want to listen to those things. And I am somewhat just surprised and amused at the fact that these people refuse to listen to things that work. And they want to hear you just agree with them and like. And as I'm talking about this, I'm actually talking about the journey of me deciding to do dating coach content. And, you see the numbers on my channel. My channel is not doing very well. It's actually doing far below what I thought it would perform at. And part of it is, just people don't want to hear realistic, non-biased content. And I'm okay with those who do. And I know that I have not created a lot of videos. I've been consistent. I had a little momentum interviewing people, and I understand that my real life and real things I have going on have compromised the growth of my channel. I get that because I have definitely slowed down since the summer or before the summer in doing content, and I understand that, and I made a conscientious decision to not allow my content creation to be prioritized over me starting new businesses and things. And so that's what you get is what you get. And so I am not as concerned about channel growth as I once was. And I do understand I have multiple channels. I do understand that this is basically a channel that's less than a year old. It'll actually be a year old in I think September, maybe October, I think. So it's only been around for about 9 months or so. 10 months. About 8-9 months. And the bulk of what I'm talking about is basically representative of people giving up on black love, or they don't think black love is obtainable for them. That's just the reality of it. A lot of people don't think that it is, something I'm going to ever achieve. But nobody wants to talk about where do I need to be to give black love. Everybody, a lot of the people that I've interviewed, one after another, I've interviewed 20 plus people, I think, and they all talked about what the other person is going to give to me, what the other person has to have going on to fit my life. But nobody wants to talk about what they have to do to fit another person's life. No one wants to talk about what they have to do to attract someone to love you. Now, I know in my interviews, I interviewed a lot of non-black people. I interviewed at least maybe 5 individuals, females that were not black, a lady that was Asian. I've had several white women. I had some Hispanic women. You know, yeah. So I get that. But when I'm talking about black love, I'm talking about the love between a black woman and a black man. And I'm talking about a love that should be natural. I'm talking about a love that causes for cohesion and a bond between two individuals. And my channel is a pro-black love channel, even though I am open to discuss things of other cultures and interview them about their dating life. And I put a pause on the interviews because it was becoming too time consuming to schedule. But I will come back with more with more content on that, and I will ask some of the people to come back and interview me again on how they're doing in their dating life. You know, my position is that black love just appears to be in a bleak status online, because in my career, I spend a great deal of time focusing on helping people heal who are involved in bad relationships who are black. And they were with black people. And when I say these things that are counter to what is stated online, it creates a hostile environment where people get upset when I say the things that I say. And one of the reasons is because I am a therapist. And it's very difficult for them to combat when I say professionally, because they're not in the profession. And so they have learned to try to, I would say, minimize my professional opinion. Even though most of the time I'm not attempting to do that, I'm just having a dialogue. And there's so many people who think because they were in a bad relationship with someone that person was a narcissist, and that's the reason. But no one says that they have narcissistic. How many times have you heard a person say, I have narcissistic tendencies? In which, in all actuality, 99.9% of narcissists won't admit at some point, particularly initially, that they're the problem. And so black love is something that can be cultivated over time. Black love is something that can be proved and grown over time. My concern as the dating coach, Coach D. Durrell, is coaching people through bad habits, cultural ills that they have learned, maladaptive behaviors, flaws that they have developed due to dating before they get into a real relationship. Because there are a lot of poor habits that people have that they bring into relationships that cause them not to work. And unfortunately, the person who is the victim of this is blamed to being a part of the problem. And so I hear people, I listen. Part of being a therapist is listening. Part of me utilizing therapeutic techniques and trying to enmesh that with this dating coach agenda, which I just should have just stated I was a relationship expert. But I went by coach because I just thought it would be more, marketable online to say that. And there are so many people who refuse to want to look at self. And to me, black love starts with loving your black self, loving your black hair, loving your black lips, thick lips, skin tone, your features. You have to love being black before you can give love to somebody else. You have to love the essence of who you are and not compromise that for anybody. You have to love everything about yourself for the most part. Yeah, there are things you don't like about yourself, but you have to love the core of who you are. You have to be in black consciousness. a black state of mind. You have to understand how to give black love to another black person. We are unique people with a unique circumstances and a unique history that is different from anybody on this earth. And so attempting to get what we need naturally from our counterpart is just only natural as a black person, because we have experienced being black in the consciousness of the environment we're in now forever, and we will always be binded together. But when you go into a situation only looking at what you can get out of it, true black love is not you expecting someone to give and you're not willing to give. You're just only open to receiving. True black love is sharing. True black love is caring and loving and nurturing and being empathetic, being positive, being supportive, planning financially, looking out for the best interest. And more than anything, how you can test true black love is when you are open and willing to do, or consistent in doing things you don't want to do to keep the relationship, but you feel that I have to and I must because I value that person more than the fact that I don't want to do the certain things that are required. And so when I talk about that, particularly in relationships, that means if a person wants to go to this event and you're not interested, you're there to support that person. Yeah, you don't want to be there, but you're there because you want to have a good time with that person. That may mean that you have to travel places you don't want to go, do activities that the other person want to do. That is counteractive on both sides. You may have to go visit family members, eat certain foods and trying and experiencing, listening to music that you may not like, but they like. And yes, no matter how compatible you are in black love, there's still going to be things that that person likes to do that you don't, or things that you don't want to do that that person likes to do. Financially, there may be some things that you have to do to help your partner come out of the rut that they're in financially so that you all can have a better life. I would never, as a man, dating somebody, watch them struggle, knowing that I can help and claim I love you and care for you. But I'm not showcasing love to help you get out the predicament that you're in because I want to hold fast on my values as far as I'm not going to give this person any money or help them out financially and expect them to be happy in that relationship. And that's vice versa. As far as a woman, you have the ability to help your man that if you help them, this will better the relationship. Why not? Particularly if you're wanting to be in a long-term relationship. So I'm having this discussion and, black love is still hot. Black love is still the shit. Black love is still studied, looked upon, and copied and mimicked by other groups of people who culturally appropriate from us and they bring things to that culture. They've been doing that to us for the longest. Black love is dangerous to certain groups. Black love is something that is feared by other groups of people because they understand when the black man and the black woman truly love each other, that is the most revolutionary thing that you can do to create and foster a better black life for you and your offspring. Because when you love each other and you give your children that love and they see that love, you won't see them doing dysfunctional shit. It minimizes dysfunction. It minimizes poor decision making. It minimizes drama. It spills into all forms, aspects of life. that people want us to stay in the condition we're in. And that's why you see so many different strategies thrown at black people to not be with each other, to look at other people as the ultimate choice or the best choice. When someone else is attempting to tell you what you should be doing, that is a telltale sign that something you should not be doing. Because it's no business of any other group of people to tell us or to be vested in what we do and what we should not be doing. The only people that we should be listening to and honoring and respecting are those in our group who want to see black people win. I want to see black people win in relationships. And listen, the coaching stuff is just a low level for me, because I actually counsel and provide therapy for people who are in marriages and relationships who are, they're beyond defining a date. They're trying to keep a marriage together. They're trying to keep a home together. They're trying not to split up and wreck their lives and have to live a different reality if this doesn't work. I've seen things, so this dating coach stuff is peanuts compared to what I really do. And I'm basing a lot on what I do based on the dysfunction that I see, the repetitiveness of behaviors that people engage themselves in that continue to keep them unhappy. I want to hear people online talk about how I messed up the relationship. I want to hear people say that I should have said yes instead of saying no when that person proposed to me, instead of valuing and bragging about the fact you was, proposed to 50 times. Like, you've been proposed a bunch of times and you said no every time. I'm sorry, but why is it, what the hell are you looking at? The fact that multiple people saw value in you and you didn't see value enough in them to get married. That is not the other person's fault. That is your fault. We have to look at self. I'm about looking inward and then looking outward when it comes to dating, when it comes to relationships, because that's the most difficult thing to do. No one wants to look within themselves to uncover and unpack things that can help them long term. And so, the channel is where it's at, and I'm going to approach this challenge like I approach the other channels. I would do content when I'm available to. You may see a reduction in the amount of videos. There has been a huge reduction since about May or April. But I'm, some weeks will be more than others. But it's about black love. At the end of the day, I'm talking about two black people being together, two black people loving themselves, loving someone else, able to receive that love, give that love, harness that love, and having an enjoyable relationship. See, so many people want certain things and they want people to do so much, but they don't even think about how their behavior is affecting their partner's happiness. Nobody wants to think about, or the needs and wants and things that I want, are those things what I want, those particular things itself, in a person providing, are they happy doing that? I mean, do I look at the strain that I'm putting on someone's life to basically have all these expectations that I have? What am I really doing? So we just got to think about that. It's incredible to see people who claim they want black love, but when the black love comes, they don't know what to do with it. They never experienced it. They don't make good decisions. They demonize and disparage and beat on the person that's giving them the love. And the blame game is so real. It's embarrassing that people don't want to believe that they were the problem in a relationship. I did a video, created a video about black women admitting their faults. And a black woman stated, shout out to Miss Sunkiss, Miss Queen Sun, she stated they're not doing that. Black women, this is a married woman. But she's a minority. Married people in the black community are a minority. Only 30%, 25 to 30% of black people are married. That's a problem. We should be around 45 to 50% or more. And the reason why we don't have these relationships that are in marriage is because people are so selfish. And they think that being married, being in relationships means compromising your freedom, compromising who you are. And you should not have to do any of those things if you really love a person really loves you. So it's about black love. And black love is not dead. Black love is alive. Black love is simply alive because there are people who want it that are continuing to do things to get it. There are people who are wanting it and they are looking to invest in themselves to get it. The problem within black love is that people are using superficial ways to attract people. Superficial. Men are a bit superficial with what they have, what they've obtained. Women are superficial with getting things done to their body that don't, in the long term, produce black love. Again, black love is it. And I believe in it. I know what it feels like because I have it. Other people have it too. And one of the biggest things is that we see is that when people do talk, you can just watch some of the couples that make content about relationships and other things. And these couples seem so close together. They seem like best friends. And these types of couples should be admired. But some of them are not. And to be honest, unfortunately, the most successful couple channels are channels that involve a person with someone of the opposites, particularly black women with a man of another race, and others. You do see some, black couples that are popular too. But when I think of this, and I think of this black lady with a white man, or this black lady with an Asian guy, and those to me are some of the more popular YouTube channels. But the issue is that the things that you see on YouTube don't translate to real life, because most 99.9% of people, 98.8% I would say, because YouTube basically has about 2% of the population. Most people are not going to carry mindsets and talking points that you see online. They're totally different. But you can get brainwashed by listening to this shit every day, day by day, and think this is the reality, and it's not. The reality is that black women and men want to be together, want to marry each other, but there are certain things within the infusion of a relationship, the love, the feelings of two people over time that causes issues, and these relationships eventually break. They don't stand the test of time. Just facts. I believe in black love, and you should too. But nobody wants to talk about what it takes to obtain it, keep it, manage it, live the rest of your life in it, because it's not easy. You're talking about you being able to do this with another person who equally should feel the same about you. So I want to thank you all for being here today. I just wanted to chop it up with you. This is a premiere on black love. Is black love a thing of the past? My answer is no, because there are a lot of black people who love their spouse, love the person they with, and they don't want you to know. They feel like you don't need to know. I don't need to showcase and put you in my business. That's why we see the lack of that online, because they don't want, people who are happy don't want you in their business. Plain and simple.